What's going on, guys? We're here for one more review today. I can't get enough of this sweet XFL. So we're gonna be breaking down next the San Antonio Brahmas. Before we do, the roster I'm gonna be using here is not my own. It was created by a Twitter user named at XFL Analyst. So that's the roster that I'll be showing in a minute. It's a great resource, constantly updated. Unlike the XFL's roster, has their experience, what other leagues they've been in, NFL experience, where they college, CFL experience, XFL experience, other spring league, other non-NFL leagues, has that clearly listed. So I'll be sure to put down their Twitter info in the description. So be sure to give them a follow if you enjoy remote XFL stuff. So thanks to at XFL Analyst again. Um, the San Antonio Brahmas. I think for this team, probably the biggest name going in the roster is their coach Hines Ward. So Hines Ward, for anyone who doesn't know, pretty accomplished NFL player. I believe won two Super Bowls, four Pro Bowls, three All Pros, an all-time great Pittsburgh Steeler. Has coached a little bit for the Steelers, coached some college coaching as an assistant, gets his first head coaching job here. This is a hire I like a lot, actually. I think, especially some of these guys, like most of these guys are around my age. I remember watching Hines Ward a lot growing up. Was a really solid player. I think he'll be able to get through to guys pretty well. I think it's one thing to say you played 20 years ago or even if you were good, but this guy played in the 2000s, which is when a lot of these guys were starting to watch football, I'm sure. And at the very least have played with him in Madden, I'm sure, and stuff like that. So I think this is a pretty good hire. Happy for Hines Ward to get the job. I do kind of wish he went to the USFL and coached the Pittsburgh Maulers. That just seems like an easy slam dunk to me, would have got more eyes for them. But I'm happy he's getting a head coaching job. I don't know what he's going to be like as head coach. Doesn't have a ton of coaching experience in general, but I'm happy he's getting his opportunity. But at the end, I think it'll be good for development. But again, I'm not sure what he looks like as a coach. So San Antonio Brahmas, pretty interesting roster, I would say. The quarterback room is very underwhelming, if I'm being honest. Jack Cohn from Notre Dame. I think a 5-year guy. I feel like he only played 1 year. He played at Wisconsin. That's right. Um, he's been around for a while. He started his college career in 2017 as a player. Winning quarterback. That Wisconsin stuff. I don't think he's a bad player for that, but I don't see that as like they're running offense. And he was able to take advantage and play well. I'm not taking anything away, but wasn't a great thrower. He had a better year at Notre Dame the next year. But again, not super big guy, not a super fast guy, not a great arm. Good game manager, good heady player. I think he should be the starter, to be honest. Reed Sinnett, I know, has some experience. Has played for the Eagles, which a lot of my Eagles friends pointed out to me. A lot of Eagles fans have texted me saying they're excited to see Reed Sinnett playing football again. Jawan Pass, I don't think he's going to be the guy. I think Jack Cohn or Reed Sinnett. I haven't been following their training camp, so I kind of like to stay fresh. I don't like to watch too much film because you just kind of, guy could be starting for a couple weeks and gets hurt. But I think it's between Jack Cohn and Reed Sinnett, as far as I can tell. But again, haven't dove into their tape a ton during this training camp. Kalen Ballage, fourth round pick only a few years ago. Miami is where I remember him playing the most. I'm not sure. I'm sure he played some of his other stops. All the wide receivers they brought in have some NFL practice squad experience. I like that. They got a 6'6" guy they brought in, 6'3". I would like some of these teams. A lot of these teams have guys who are just too small, which drives me crazy. I think having a big body wide receiver in these leagues is super helpful. I get having speed on the outside. I like having a mixture. I like having both, but I feel like every guy I've looked at has been so small. So I'm happy to see it. There's some 6'3", some 6'6", some 6'4". I would get some of these guys out there. Elise Mack from Notre Dame, 7th-round pick. I think he's bounced around. I don't think he's played, if much at all. Offensive line. You can see here they've got some experience in the O-line, it looks like. Some of the older guys, which I like. Again, I've been following the camps. I don't know who's going to go where and all that, but they seem to have a good bit of experience of the guys they brought into camp at least, which I think even that's helpful. Even if these guys don't come, they help the guys who eventually do make the team compete because they've been around the block, they're experienced, they're tough, and I think that's super valuable. Defensively, they've got some pretty solid guys. Nothing super exciting. Secondary has a little bit more experience than almost any other part you could see, even just in spring leagues and stuff like that. The notable special teamers, Brad Wing. You remember him? You might remember from LSU. He got that big taunting penalty. He like did a fake punt and then started taunting, and the touchdown got called back. He punted for the Eagles for a little bit. He was on the Giants. That's why I remember him playing the most. Was a really good punter. I kind of forgot about him. I'm happy he's getting a shot. So that's a name you might recognize. That's pretty much all I have to say about San Antonio. Again, I haven't looked at the entire rest of the league super closely yet. I don't know their schedule. I think their quarterback play just isn't that good. I don't see them topping out very high. They could be the worst team in the league. If I'm being fully transparent, they maybe not. Again, I don't. These leagues are hard to predict because by nature these guys don't have a ton of film, and if they do, it's older film, and if it's college, and understanding the context of college is difficult for all these guys when there's like 50 players on 10 teams, and you have to start from scratch. You don't know how these guys are fit together. I don't see a super high upside. I think their quarterback room is not great. I think Hines Ward's a good dude. Maybe Hines Ward can motivate these guys to play. I think they'll play hard. I think all these teams generally play hard because they're playing for a shot at the NFL, but I don't see a super high upside. They don't have a ton of playmakers on either side of the ball. Special teams wise, I don't know what they even look like. Brad Wing was a good punter like 10 years ago, but I don't know what that means for him now. I think Hines Ward again is a good motivator. We know he's a great player. Maybe he can be a great motivator. He's been around the NFL, which I like, as a coach as well. But leading a locker room is just a different ball game, and I tend to fall back on the guys who have coached that head coach before when I'm going to judge team success. So we haven't done them yet, like Wade Phillips or the guys who have at least D coordinators in the NFL. I tend to rely, if I'm going off not as much information, I'm going to trust those guys more to start. But who knows? I think I'd put them better than the Guardians right now, but we'll see. But I think they'll be towards the bottom. I don't expect them to be a playoff team. But you never know, I guess. Yeah, not the most exciting team, if I'm being honest. One of the more boring ones that I've looked at. Hines Ward's the most exciting name on that team, and that's not a slight to him, but your head coach should not be the biggest name, and it shouldn't be a guy who's never been a head coach. That's it for today's video. Thanks for following me along these team previews. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen to the San Antonio Brahmas this year or anything else in the XFL. Thanks for watching.